it's so funny when people like who don't know the states, they're like, yeah, I've had so many people like, yeah, I'll just shoot up to you. I'm gonna be there, and when I'm like, oh, where are you going? They're like San Diego, or I'm like, or even LA. I'm like, LA is like fucking 5.5 hours, right?
Yeah, wondering if he's even in our coaching program. So I wonder if he's in our business program. He should be if he's not. Yeah, you wonder how well he's doing business wise, and like what his business model is.
Mic and cameras are hot. You can take over the music too if you'd like.
Okay. I will do that in just a second. What I want to do right now is apologize to the viewers for being an asshole. I mean, it's unbelievable that I'm being documented this whole time. I'm telling everybody why I'm doing dumbbells, why I'm modifying Max 15. And like an idiot, I'm home and, decide that I want to do barbell incline press. Think that because I'm doing 135, hey, no big deal, that's a really light weight for me. I'll just slow the tempo down, and first set felt so amazing. And sure as shit, by the second or third set, I felt something get strained. Right away, re-racked the weights and threw me into a quick momentary depression. I was just so mad at myself for doing that, and stupid. And you know what it was? Is I'm in such a hurry to get to. I want everybody to see MAPS 15 as it's laid out. Such a great freaking program. It's one of my favorite programs we've ever created, and the whole idea of this is like to show everybody like how much progress and what I can do with such a minimalist type of program, right? Like when you just take the meat out of a program and like these are the biggest bang for your buck movements. So the idea was I want to get to that. So even though we're following it loosely, I really wanted to get following it to a T, and we started doing that and call for barbell press, and instead of modifying it like I know better and should have, like I've been doing, I cared more about showing that. And so lesson learned, okay? The hard way. Now, the good news is that the injury does not feel nowhere anything like it did when I first injured it. So when I first injured it, my whole bicep got bruised, and I could barely move my arm. I thought I was going to wake up this morning and feel so stiff and my shoulder locked up. I actually didn't. I actually feel okay. I can definitely feel it though. I get in certain positions, and I can definitely feel where I kind of re-injured it a little bit. But here's the good news about this. I've always had a better upper development than my lower half. Anyways, I'm a 6'3" lanky guy, real thin. The first 5 to 10 years of my training career was the typical teenage young guy who skipped legs most of the time. And even when I started training legs, I opted into things like leg press and leg extensions. And I didn't get into squatting till 10 years plus into my lifting career. And so I've got plenty of room to put overemphasis on my legs. So that's kind of what I'm just going to take this as a blessing in disguise, force my programming to be more heavy on the legs. So I figured my thought process is leg and core dominant, still going to follow the skeleton or the structure or the premise behind MAPS 15 with just 2 or 3 exercises a day, 5-6 days a week. So I'm still loosely following it, but I'm just going to put a lot of emphasis on my legs and my core now instead of chest. And we'll probably leave the chest alone almost completely. Maybe I'll do some body weight stuff, but it's not like it's going to hurt me to take a couple weeks off potentially of that. We'll see. We'll see how I feel, but I'll definitely ease myself back into that, and we're just gonna have to get after legs more. So that being said, today we're going to do chest-supported dumbbell rows. Idea for that to just be super protective. Not that I think I could totally do bent over rows if I wanted to, but we haven't done chest-supported rows, and it's one of my favorite exercises anyway, so we'll do those. And then I think I'm going to do walking lunges. And let's see, I think last time we just did the barbell. Let's see if I can load them. My legs are starting to feel good. I've hit them already several times, and so the conditioning on them is starting to come up. But let me get into some of my priming right now. Let's get some music going. See what kind of mood I'm in. Maybe I'm going to go old school. So throw a curveball for everybody right here. This is the cruising music. Is the Bose not on? Yeah, I do. Dylan knows this music. This is like when this is our cruising music right here.
I interrupt you, but there's somebody that just stopped by to take a picture of the car again.
Oh yeah.
He like pulled got off his bike and stopped and walked around the car.
All right. So ease my way in here. Do some threading the needle, some prone cobra. Dylan, don't let me forget. I want to talk a little bit about nutrition now that we've been tracking. So I want to get everybody up to speed that's not following me on my Instagram story. Which, by the way, if you're watching this, you should also be following my Instagram because I'm gonna wake that back up. So I've been posting on there. I know it's been dormant for a long time, and I normally only use it for personal and family stuff, but since this journey is going on and I already realize obviously I'm going to have to do some work at home and I won't be able to do all of it here, I want to be able to keep everybody up to speed. And that's where you're going to see more of the diet stuff. I'll start sharing with you guys my Fat Secret app, which is the app that I use for food tracking, sharing my macros, sharing my food. And then my goal is to get with Ann on our team and see if I can get her to put together a document for you guys. I want to create a grocery list. So what I figured I would do is once we're done with the first kind of 30 days, I'll drop a 30-day grocery list of all the foods that I've been eating. So we'll do it some PDF, or maybe I'll build it in Kajabi so it's nice. That way I can actually build into it. We'll think of something neat though. I'll figure out something for you guys. I do want to point out too that the other day I was giving my mobility guys and my doctor guys, and of course they, coming from a rehab perspective, would like to see me doing nothing but this to completely rehab, which is probably what I should be doing, but I'm trying to work through and around it for you guys so I can show you that I can rehab while also build the physique, which I am confident I can do, so long as I don't make any more stupid moves. So pissed yesterday, man. So notice, I think it was one of the days, a couple days ago, I was telling you guys about how I can notice a shift from my left to right. So the 99 is great because it works on internal and external rotation of the hips. And then, so watch my back heel. I'll try and lift that up. There was a point when I couldn't even do that. And look how much, I have this much range of motion, right? So I could come all the way up, but look at that. That's as much as I can intrinsically do it myself. So the joint has the ability to rotate more, and you can tell by manually lifting the leg, right? And that just shows you that I've lost the strength and control to take that through its fullest range of motion. Now, I'm not so bad that I can't lift my leg, because there was a point when I was like that, but your ability to do this without assisting it would be a really good thing. So just working on your 90-90 and the ability to lift that leg off the ground, right? And so what I'll do sometimes is I'll lift it up to assist it, and then I'll try and hold it there. And what that's doing, it's firing all those muscles that are responsible for internally rotating the hip like that. And that's how this all starts, getting more and more mobile and getting stronger in the hip. And if I have good balance there, left to right, where I can internally, externally rotate the hip intrinsically, okay, by myself, it's just going to make me perform my squat mechanics that much better. Actually, not as bad as I thought. That's pretty decent for me to be able to elevate. You'll see some of you come down, get into that 90-90, and then you'll tell a client, all right, now lift your heel off the ground. And you go, I can't. It's like their brain is like, I don't care how much you try and tell me. And it doesn't feel like you're weak. It just feels like you're disconnected. Like you can't fire it and do that. And it's like, if you don't use it, you lose it. As kids, we roll around, we play on the ground, we play sports like soccer, and man, it's why that's so healthy and so good for children to play, and to play like that, rough and tumble and rolling and rotating and twisting, because you're staying connected to all those dynamic movements. And as we get older, you just stop doing that shit. And the body will prune it. It'll say, okay, if he's not going to rotate his hips like that ever again, why do we have resources go there? So we'll just prune it, stop doing it. And you just keep going that direction, and you lose more and more mobility. And then you come and you get 40-something years old, decide you're going to get in shape, and you don't address that. You just get right into lifting the weights, and then all it takes is moving out of that range of motion slightly, and there goes something. You hurt something, which is why too, all my mobility guys, they would tell you to focus all on that, get good full control of all your joints, and then you load, which is technically and really it depends on where my client is at, right? This is why we wrote programs like Prime and Prime Pro. Is let's say I have somebody who's wanting to get started and they haven't lifted in a really long time, and they're so deconditioned. They're north of 40 years old. They haven't lifted weights either ever or 20 years, sat at a desk job, put all kinds of body fat on. Man, we don't necessarily need to load that body all the way quite yet. Just them moving their own body weight and working on articulating their joints through full range of motion is going to be a workout. They're going to burn calories. They're going to build muscle, and it's going to promote and protect the joints by gaining access to that range of motion they used to have, to set them up, basically laying the foundation for what they'll build with lifting down the road. So, that was really the thought process when we wrote all those MAPS programs. Was the idea is that no matter where a client is at, that you could use those programs to meet them. So if I had someone who was really, really deconditioned or a lot of injuries, I could literally train them just out of Prime Pro. That's to us, we thought of like when you go to rehab, like physical therapy, and then after the physical therapist says, okay, you're good to go to the gym and start working out, they would most people would jump right to just strength training, traditional stuff. But there wasn't a really good bridge between what does that strength training look like before you go into just, barbell back squatting and bench pressing and all these great movements. How do you bridge that gap? Prime Pro is that. I think it's one of the most brilliant things we ever created. Probably the thing that the worst part about it is very little effort was put into the marketing of it and how we would sell it. So it's very confusing for a lot of people, like, what is this? What do I need it for? Because that's not how our brains work. We thought more like, how is this best for the clients, and what our type of clients that we have, what they need. And so Prime Pro is that. So, in my opinion, if you're, any age, but if you're over 25 years old, it should be in everybody's library, because at one point in your life, you should be pulling from a lot of movements, if not all the movements in there. Okay, let me get my prone cobras, and we'll get to work. Oh, you know what? I gotta get my supplements going too. Let me get one more of those. You see the mixed reviews, Dylan, on the breathing?
Yeah.
So some people appreciate it, the rawness of it. Some people can't stand it. I can't handle it. I can't watch it. I wish everybody knew what goes into creating the amount of content that we create. The team, the amount of people, the man hours, the woman hours. What would you say, Dylan? Even keeping the video as raw as we are, like obviously these take way less effort than like the Mind Pump show does or some of the clips and things that we do for social. How long does just one of these take total?
At least minimum 2 to 3 hours.
And then the time to shoot it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't even realize this. Keon has watermelon flavored aminos. Shows you how much I know. And we have watermelon LMT. So I am going to do the powdered form of aminos today, the EAAs. So I've been taking I don't know if I've told this, I know I talked about it on Instagram, but I don't know if I told. I'm taking aminos, EAAs from Keon 3 times a day right now. So when I do the pills, it's 7 pills or a scoop. And the idea is to take it in between meals. And you guys, I'll leave all the science talk to Sal and the nerds on the episode. Let's just say it's going to help me recover and build as much muscle as I possibly can. And I wasn't a believer before, and now I am. And Keon, I know our good friend doesn't talk about it very much anymore, that it's partly his company or not, but Ben Greenfield was one of the founders of that. So, it's coming from a good friend who's very, very intelligent and has integrity. So, doesn't mean you can't get this stuff elsewhere, but I did tell the Instagram people that were following me on the stories that if you guys really enjoy this content and you find it really valuable, and like I was telling you, like the amount of time, effort, and work it goes into my team that has to create this stuff, the reason why we can do it, and the only reason why you're seeing so much of me right now and not other places in the business, is because we were able to get this paid for before it even started. So Keon is one of the partners that helped fund this project. And one of the things that you guys can do to help support that, if this is something that you find valuable, if this is something that you want to see more of, just simply going through the link that the boys have put up with my, /Adam, so they can track how much business they're getting from something like this. And if it justifies the spend for them, this is something that I'm sure they'll do it again for other series. So one of the things that you guys can do to support, if you want to see more things like this, that's it. Because for us, just keeping it real, it's not worth it for us business-wise. This business has grown so big, we have so many other legs and arms that produce revenue, there's a reason why you haven't seen me on YouTube in a very long time. It's just not equitable, just keeping it real. But if we can get it funded, it does become equitable. So, and we don't need to make a lot. Just has to make sense to pull someone like Dylan and the editors away from all the other projects they're doing. Has to make sense to pull me away from the stuff I'm doing. So I do appreciate all the people that have been supporting, and that's the way you can support. Okay. I normally would do legs first, but I'm going to start with the rows first. Where do you want me, D?
Oh, you're doing chest supporting, you said?
I'm going to lay on my, chest forward.
Okay.
I can face it this way so you can see. I can even roll it all the way there if you roll it all the way here.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
That way you can have the mirror and everything.
I've been so surprised by I shouldn't be that surprised, actually. I take that back. I'm not that surprised. The amount of effort that I'm putting towards getting protein and yet still missing every day. It's crazy. And originally, I had told you guys that I was just going to track. I wasn't going to make any behavior changes, but I can't help myself because I know I need it. I know I'm recovering. I know how important it is, and I know it's only going to delay my results by not getting it up there all the way where it needs to be. And I'm tracking, and I'm aware it's hard for me not to make behavioral changes that are going to benefit me. So I've been getting up in the morning and forcing myself to eat a high protein breakfast that maybe I wouldn't normally, or like last night, you know, I got out of bed at 10 o'clock at night after I already smoked some weed and watched TV and would have called it a night, and that kicked up my appetite, which was one of the benefits for me of still using cannabis is when I'm trying to increase calories, it will kick my appetite up. So I do use it like that sometimes. And so I kicked it up after I'd already had dinner, went downstairs and ate 2 of those, what is it, Okios or whatever yogurts. Those are the triple zeros. They're 15 grams each, so a good 30 grams, press some granola, so probably a good 35 grams of protein at 10 o'clock at night. Still didn't hit my target, but got higher or closer, so it's so crazy. It's why people that don't track, I can almost guarantee you that they miss their protein. And it's all, and then people think, oh, I eat lots of meat. Yeah, so do I. It's a lot to get all of it. Wow, that felt really good and light. I don't remember what I started with the first time, but that felt light. That's good. And we are going to do 4 sets instead of 3 sets of these. Apologize ahead of time for all the critics that don't like the music. Plug your ears or make your own soundtrack to it. I actually think I like the mango. I think I like the mango aminos with the watermelon LMT better. The watermelon on watermelon, maybe it's because they use a different watermelon profile. It's not as good. It goes better. The mango goes better with the watermelon LMT. It's interesting. It's not bad, but I was really, really impressed with how good the mango was with the watermelon. So I have been tracking like physique updates, and I'll just keep it real. I'm not posting them or comparing them much because I don't want to mess with my own head. Just like the same shit that we teach our clients. So I'll show you guys a timeline and I'll share it all with you and tell you what was at what week and everything. But if I get too focused on, you know, taking pictures every other day or every day, every week, and trying to compare and watching the scale too closely, I'll mess with my own head. So I like to give myself enough time in between so I can see good progress. 2 down, 2 to go. Where's Josh at?
Does your pec feel like it creates an imbalance in this?
No. And I'm really lucky today, actually. I tell you what, dude. I was like, as soon as I did the injury, I drove last night back here to the studio and picked up some more BPC and the TB 500. Right, I called Sal right away. What's the max I could do with this? And he's like, 50 units, split them up, 25 units in the morning, 25 in the evening, take 20 units of the TB 500. And he's like, shoot that shit right into the chest. And so did that. I was doing the Juve Light. Did Juve Light 3 times yesterday for like 15-minute sessions, like right on it. Had Katrina get into my scapula and work all that out. Work out too, so all the supporting muscles, wanted to make sure that she opened that all up. And then I was icing between that. And then of course slamming all my aminos and stuff. So, I like on it right away. And all I was thinking this morning was like, please God, don't let me see a bruise and don't let me be all locked up. And I woke up and I'm like, oh shit. Let's put it this way. I know I kind of re-injured a little bit, but even this morning, my shoulder feels better today than it did when we first started all this. And I was telling you that it was still really tough to move. Like I've almost got full good control of my shoulder again, which after re-injuring, I thought, oh shit, it's gonna go back. And it didn't, so I'm super pumped. And I technically probably can get right back in the next chest day at going at it, but I'm probably gonna give it a whole week of like little to no chest. And what I might do is I might pull from MAPS bands and do some MAPS bands work for my chest, or body weight, or nothing, So like I said, I'll just make up for the volume and I'll put it towards my legs and my core. 2 areas I can use it anyways.
Your water bottle over there, part of your hack to get more steps.
Yeah, actually, so I don't know if you were here when I was training hard again, and I don't have my tracker yet. I was using Aura then, but I like to I walk during. Now the reason why I do that is because I don't get a lot of activity and movement throughout the day. So it was a way for me when I was starting to increase my steps, and you'll actually see me do that. So that's not the real reason why I do that right there. It's just kind of a spot to keep everything. But eventually you will see me do like laps. I'll just kind of keep it walking and moving so I can get that step count out eventually. We're not there yet. So in fact, we're at a point right now where me being sedentary, probably only, and I haven't tracked, but if I had to guess, I'm probably only stepping 4,000, 5,000 steps maybe a day. And I'm still not getting enough calories to grow that much, or just barely enough. And so before I start increasing activity, I need to get up my calories, which leads me to what I was going to announce to people is that I'm probably going to skip my GLP-1 even microdose on Monday because I need all the support and help I can get to kick the appetite up. I'm not hungry enough. It's so hard to break even 3,000 calories. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you saw my story, D2. I was saying that, one, I was happy that I wasn't as hurt as bad as I thought. I also weighed myself. I'm weighing at 203 right now. So we started this at 199. Not that weight's that big of a deal right now, but what I wouldn't want to see right now is losing weight. So I want to hold or see a little bit of an increase. And let's be honest, at least half of that weight's probably just, I'm taking creatine, I'm drinking more fluid, I'm increasing calories. So it's not like I put 4 or 5 pounds of muscle on already, but it tells me that I'm in a good place. Calorie-wise, I'm not losing. What we don't want to see is losing right now. Even though we want to lose body fat and lean out, I don't want to see the scale weight go down. So I want to see maintaining or a slight increase. So considering we're, 2 weeks into this or so now, that's It's a good level to be at. Okay, I'm gonna walk down the runway, and I'll probably use the barbell, and then I'm actually gonna hopefully load some of it. We'll see. I'm gonna do a little bit of a dynamic warm up right here just to get my hamstrings primed a little bit. I'm gonna use the big 10-pound plates. So psychologically, I feel stronger than what I really am. This is the CrossFit secret. They were into something with those big ass rubber plates. I want to use those little baby 10s. Use these big ones. Since Dylan's talking to the contractor right now, I'm going to use this as an excuse to catch my breath more, and then I'll blame it on him for resting so long. Okay, here we go. Ooh, that feels good. That feels good. Oh, that's what I need. I need some wins. I need some good sets that make me feel good, that challenge me a little bit. It's a good feeling. So, that feels so good. My ego wants to go up, but I know that we did 3 sets of lunges with just the 45-pound bar for 3 sets. We're gonna do 4 today, and we're loaded. So I'll do another set at least with this weight, even though I feel like go up, and then we'll see how I feel. I have a feeling I'll already get a pretty nasty pump with 1 more set, and we'll stay there. But I'll tell you right now, my ego wants me to go up. So we're gonna fight that. So there's like a really sophisticated way to track volume so you can strategically, progressively overload. But what you guys hear me communicating is just kind of a generic way of doing it, right? Right now I'm not separating all the muscle groups and going, oh, to track volume, it's sets times reps times weight. That gives you total volume of an exercise or a muscle group, right? And so kind of a generic way that I track volume, I know it's not the most precise, so before all the dorks get on here and say something on YouTube, it's just an easy thing for the average person who's not gonna track everything super tight, is I'll take like the big lifts. I'd consider this a big compound lifts, right? Lunging, squatting, bench pressing, overhead pressing, rowing, and I'm gonna pay attention to sets, reps, and weight, so total volume on those exercises. And so as the weeks go on, as I revisit those exercises, my goal is to just at least do what I did before or slightly increase. And you can increase total volume by adding 1 more rep, or adding 5 pounds, or adding another set. Those are all ways to add volume to an exercise, and just a real easy way to do it is to just slightly increase one of those 3 things. And so long as I do that on those big lifts that I'm talking about, it'll kind of take care of the natural progressive overload. So without getting super sophisticated. Because I tell you, the average person is not gonna go the extra mile. And I mean, bodybuilders, yes. Bikini competitors, sure. But most clients, unless you're like a real analytical person, like an engineer, and I've trained some of them, but most people are not gonna do that extra work. So just a good generic thing is to pay attention to the big lifts. What did you do the prior week? And you get another rep, another set, a few more pounds, you're progressively overloading the body. Also, okay, those are the easy ones. I could slow down the tempo with the same weight and the same sets and the same reps, and just slowing the tempo down also progressively overloads the body. Or balancing between each foot as I walk and throwing a stability component, because that also increases the time under tension. All ways of progressive overloading. And depending on the client's goal, if I have somebody who's more mobility focused and longevity and health, and maybe building maximal muscle is not their main focus, before I even increase load, I would manipulate those things. Tempo, isometric hold to the top, or the stability component. And I would overload their body to keep building muscle through those types of options. Somebody who's more muscle-centric, strength-centric, they want to see more, as much muscle as they aesthetically can, then I'll tend to load the bar first, given their technique and form is good, because remember, quality of reps trumps all. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. One more set. That felt good. Definitely feels easy enough to still load more, but we okay. You know, the more I thought about the injury and how pissed I was about hurting my chest, the positive thing is it took me a lot of work to grow my legs in comparison to like my upper body. And so I lost a lot of that too. When I lost that weight, a good portion of that I can tell by looking at my legs compared to what they are. It peaked me. And so the positive of that is there's a lot of room to grow there. And because they're the biggest muscles on your body, when it comes to impacting the body fat percentage and the change that I'm trying to show you guys, that'll serve me. So, although chest is a big muscle too, and I would love to be able to have that working for my advantage, it's okay. Hopefully I can still do a good job, and most importantly, hopefully I can impress myself. That's what I'm trying to do more than anything else. And I don't know, to be honest, like, I don't think I've ever come from a place of 50 pounds of muscle off my body. So I'm really curious. I know what I'm capable of doing, but I don't think I've ever been from this position. So super curious. Oh yeah, legs are getting pumped. Last set, boys and girls. Good song to end on. Yes, that felt good. Okay, that felt really good, really good. I needed some positive stuff after yesterday. So exciting that everything I've done so far, that was the first thing that I felt, oh, I'm stronger. The muscle endurance was significantly better than the last time. I felt strong. I definitely felt like I could have gone more weight, but I knew I was going to challenge myself enough. I didn't want to overreach again. That felt good. The movement felt good. My legs are a little pumped. Not a massive pump, but a good pump. That's a real positive sign. So we're definitely building some leg muscle, that's for sure. So that's good. That's real good. You know, and sometimes too, that's how this will work, right? Where, you know, you're making progress and maybe the area that you really want, you know, maybe it's chest, right? And you're hard plateauing, but you're seeing gains in other parts of your body. That's progress, man. I mean, as much as we'd all love to see the body perfectly come up in symmetry and see growth on every single muscle group, sometimes it works like that and it works in spurts. Sometimes you feel like you're cruising, hitting a plateau for a while and not going anywhere, then all of a sudden you see a nice little bump. So that was really reassuring for legs. That felt really good. I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about diet since we're tracking now. I did share it on the stories, so I'm going to tell you to make sure you're following on the stories too, but I'll share with you guys here since I've got it. So now I said I was just going to track for this week and not make changes. Okay, I admitted that I saw how grossly under eating I was, and I'm like, I'm just not serving myself by not trying at least, or at least making an effort to get a little bit more protein. I'm only delaying it out further of my muscle building journey here. So I have probably 3 times now in this last week went and ate a meal that if I was just going off of how I feel, I would have skipped or not ate. And so even with that, let me tell you what I'm averaging. So we're on day 5 today, so today's not completed, but 5 days of tracking, I'm averaging 2,496 calories. Now, when I'm estimating, not everything's being weighed. I weighed a few things, but I'm not weighing. I'm just guesstimating. Now, I'm pretty good at that because I've been doing this for a long time, but still, I would buffer that. And when you're trying to gain weight, I'll normally round down and say things like, man, I'm probably only getting 2,200 calories or so, or 2,300 calories, and I need to eat more. If I'm trying to lose weight, I might be underestimating calories around 26 or 2,700 calories, even though I'm around 2,496. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we see some consistent patterns. And one of those consistent patterns is this, my macro breakdown. I'm only averaging 184 grams of protein with those 3 like big protein meals to try and make up for protein. One day I had a double lettuce wrap with bacon from Five Guys, and that's like a big 56, 60 grams of protein. And I needed something that was palatable like that to even want to eat again, or else I would have went to bed. So, as predicted, I'm low calories and I'm low protein. But we've seen a slight increase in weight. Again, I attribute most of that probably to water right now. So we are hovering about where I'm at. So I could stay here calorie-wise and just do this real slow, gradual exchange. But I've got room to put some weight on. I can see, I'm pretty lean right now, even though the body fat percentage, like, I can see my abs very visibly right now. So I've got room to push calories a little bit, and even if I get a little body fat on the fluffy side in pursuit of more muscle, it's okay. I just don't want to get out of control with that. So, yeah, we'll be tracking from here on out. In the next week or two, since it doesn't matter to me right now, I'll eventually start tracking steps. So right now, I'm not. We don't need to. We've got enough stuff to work on right now. So stay tuned. Again, appreciate everybody's support. Those of you that are following along and commenting, even the negative ones, I enjoy that too. So it all helps the algorithm, so bring it on. And make sure you guys are following over on the Instagram stories, because I'm going to start sticking with that day to day. Obviously, I'm not in here with the team every day, and so I'll make sure to post on there if I'm not in here.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. And now I always see them promoting GLP-1s a whole bunch now. And now my mom just sent me this thing. Let me see. It's a GLP-1 probiotic. It's
Pill.
like, what do you think about this? And I'm just like, it's
Everybody, now it's everything, right?
yeah.
That's what happens with the fitness space. As soon as we get a little bit of science to support something, I don't know if you remember when we first started talking about cannabis 8 years ago and CBD and like, you know, everything. Once the science came out that CBD was good for you, fucking lotions, creams, eyeliner, every drink, every food, like everything,
All over the malls and
everywhere,
kiosks.
everywhere. Yeah. So it's like,
That's what'll be interesting is if you start to see it commercialized to that extent to where it's like they are saying it's a GLP-1 or something, but really it's just something you can get over the counter.
it's what it's going to be. And that's what they did with CBD. So it's like, because supplements are not FDA regulated, you can pixie dust it. And you can say, oh, there's some GLP-1 in there. And it's like, and then the rest of it's wheatgrass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say that they're all doing that, but the likelihood there's probably going to, there's a high chance that a majority are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep all our family members away from all that bullshit.
Seriously.